Good evening and welcome to Straight Talk. I'm Eugene Chan, and it is a great privilege to have our Chief Executive, Mr. John Lee, join us tonight to delve deeper into the new initiatives announced in his third policy address, which was delivered just last week. We will hear from Mr. Lee how they will make Hong Kong better and stronger. It is an honor to have you back, CE, and thank you for joining us.
The honor is mine, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here so that I can talk more about my policy address and explain it more to the audience.
Right, see, firstly, I must send our heartiest congratulations in Hong Kong regaining our ranking as the world's freest economy. This is a significant achievement, and that highlights your government's effective policies and commitment to fostering a vibrant and open market. And before we go into details of our policy address, I thought this would be a good opportunity to ask you about the thought processes in putting together this year's PA, as I feel that it is important for us to understand your mindset so that we can all be on the same page and sing from the same songbook. Just to point out, I thought I'll wear green as well to signify our common desire that we all want Hong Kong to thrive. So you have delivered 3 policy addresses now, and with its unique focus and goals. And the first 2, you laid out an ambitious plan for Hong Kong, like charting a brighter tomorrow and fostering a vibrant economy. And in this year's policy address, it took you a bit longer, shorter, 2.5 hours for the 9 chapters and 228 paragraphs and 104 pages. So how has the positioning and direction of your policy addresses evolved from 2022 until today?
Well, I must thank you sincerely, Eugene. You did spend a lot of time on my policy address, and the 3 policy addresses, and in fact, they are linked together. It's a progression. This year, the theme I chose for the policy address is we should reform for enhancing development and building our future together. I look at each year what this period is all about, and then set my target, and then set my theme. Let me explain. 2022, what time was it? It was a time when we were hit by COVID. Mm-hmm. So we were all in the same boat. So we need to help each other. So the theme I set at that time was together, we should hope to aim for prosperity, economic development. And then 2023, what time was it? It was a time when we came out of COVID. And it was a year when we first stepped on the path to prosperity. So the target at that time was to create happiness again, smiles on people's face, create jobs, and also to develop the economy, and let us came back to normal life. And for that target, I set the theme that we have to all together work on building economy, building prosperity, and then we hope to create happiness, a feeling of hope and good for Hong Kong. So you read the 2 years policy address, you know why those themes were set. This year, what year it will be now? It is now a year when we have security well in our hand. So with security quite confirmed and Hong Kong being safe and stable, we really can go all out to really strive for prosperity. Mm-hmm. And we should do this together because we need to reform, because this is a time we may have to go through changes, because some sectors, because of some structural changes, including customers' habits, shopping habits, all these things may have changed structurally. It's not cyclical anymore. So we need to face the problem, right, and then change our self-improvement. So we need to reform. And different sectors have different things that they can do better. So we must reform together to enhance our economy, and in due course, will create hope, happiness, prosperity, and eventually a brighter future. Right. So all these are linked together, and it is a progressive governance direction.
Right. See, and since you mentioned about that, I'm sure community consultation has always been a very essential component of your processes, and I'm sure this year is no different. Could you share with us how engaged our community is at the moment, and how have the feedback or insights actually significantly influenced your decision-making process in terms of this policy address?
So I'm thankful to the 9,000 opinions or suggestions I have received in this year's consultation exercise. And I thanked sincerely the members of the committee whom I met while I made my district visit, and they all told me how they thought about what I should do and helping me to make decisions about priorities. Because one of the main functions of government is redistribute resources. So setting priorities is important. I have advocated the importance of aligning thinking and aligning efforts together since I took up office in 2022. So the key word I use in Chinese is togetherness, right. Togetherness. Because I think 1 + 1 will be bigger than 2. And if everybody synergize, we don't discount each other, we reinforce each other, so 7.5 million people will become bigger than 7.5 million people. Indeed. And I have used an analogy on different occasions. All we need is everybody is not just an entity 1. Everybody, say, becomes a 1.01. The multiplication factor, the complex multiplication factor, will be astronomical.
Indeed.
So the togetherness, the team building, and the alignment of thinking and functions are important. And that is what I'm trying to do.
Right, see, since we're here on the word reform, which is a key theme of this year's policy address, someone counted that you mentioned this word 33 times.
Well, some said 41.
Right, and it's a very comprehensive approach to reform. So you emphasize to fix the shortcomings and overcome hurdles and while fostering growth. Can you tell a bit more in brief? What is your philosophy behind in reform so that we all understand what you're trying to do and whether we should have more patience and when should we expect results?
Well, I try to do exactly what you have just asked for. So in chapter 1, a whole chapter, the first chapter, when you open the policy address, I tell about this. I tell about what my governance philosophy is. I talk about how reform should be done. So reform means making improvements. The main purpose of making reforms is important. Reform is not for reform's sake. It's for creating better governance and creating results. I think that these are the most important things. So we have to then examine what are the things that we are doing well, what are the things we're doing not so well, and where are the areas that we should have acted but have not, and where the threats are, which will be counterproductive.
Right.
What we call the SWOT analysis: strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and threats. All leaders do this. I have been doing this regularly, reflection for improvement. So chapter 1 tells where I see strengths, I will consolidate it. Where I see weaknesses, I try to strengthen it. Where I see threats, then I will mitigate it. I do prevention system, and I build up the resilience to absorb it. Where I see opportunities, then I will grasp it. And there are so many opportunities around us. Luckily, under one country system, Hong Kong is the only city in the world that enjoys both our country's advantage and also the world's advantage. We're so lucky.
Right.
So we have this unique advantage.
Right.
We must grasp. And one other opportunity that has arisen as a result of geopolitical tension, which is not a good thing, but still we can, out of the best side of it, create opportunities, because Hong Kong's advantage is that we are safe and stable. Particularly, I think the center of growth has moved to the east, and also people are looking for diversification. They're looking for risk mitigation. Then Hong Kong is the right place.
Right.
So Hong Kong is so safe and stable, and with all the great infrastructures, all the systems we have built, and you have given one good example, which is that we have been rated as the #1 freest economy. So we have all these opportunities and attractions and strengths all in one place. Opportunities is something we need to grasp, and that is why I want to tell everybody in Hong Kong, and also our neighbors, this is what you can take good use of, all the opportunities, the strengths, and all the resilience that we have built in Hong Kong.
Right, see, let's take a short break now, and viewers, stay tuned. We will be right back. Thank you for staying with us. We have our CE, Mr. John Lee, talking to us about the 2024 policy address. He has given us a bit of an overview of his thoughts, especially the reform philosophy. Now let us focus on some of the new initiatives outlined in the address. So CE, I found that in your 2024 policy address, you have 9 chapters, 228 paragraphs, and 104 pages, and there are a number of significant reforms. Obviously, we can't go through each one of them tonight. However, could you share with us 2 or 3 the most critical aspects that you believe will make the most immediate impact on making Hong Kong a better and stronger city?
Well, I think all the measures that I have announced, they have different significance in different areas. So I think it would be difficult to compare in this regard.
Right.
In simple terms, all have their own significance and values, and it affects different sectors. But something I think immediately people will feel is what we have introduced, the 8 measures to help SMEs.
Right.
They represent over 95% of the businesses in Hong Kong. And I have heard many opinions that we need to help them to overcome the cash flow problem. And they are, I think, a lot of them relates to, for example, the catering and retail sector. And they do suffer structural changes because of change customer behavior, change of shopping patterns. So I do think we need to help them. That is why we have reintroduced the moratorium system when they don't have to pay for the actual loan, but only pay for the interest. This is to help them to overcome what I believe will be a short-term cash flow problem. That is why I said 12 months as the period for them to overcome the challenges. I'm positive because overall, if you look at Hong Kong, the economy is growing positively. We estimate it will be between 2.5 to 3.5% growth. That means we should be doing well.
Right.
But of course, for some sectors, because of the structural changes, then they will have to face up to challenges. So we are trying to actually focus on the weak areas and what help them. And I've heard that a lot of SMEs find this really helpful. So I'm glad. But we want to not just help SME, we want to align this reform sense and also the action. Indeed, some may be very long term because such as what I've suggested about building the commodity trading ecosystem. That will quite a number of years because we are now at a very low stage. But that also means that we'll have big growth. This is a blue ocean. This is the new blue sky for us. Mm-hmm. But there are some things, I think, that we can do the reform immediately. I'm glad to see that, for example, those in the travel industry, they are already reforming themselves. For example, they are already designing new lines of visit for tourists. And also some of the catering businesses have been reforming themselves. I think the government's message has been so loud and continuous, then the recognition of change has reached a level which I think has taken shorter time than I would have expected for them to align to this thinking, which I feel happy about. One of the successful enterprise operator has advised me how he managed to go through the difficult times over the years since COVID up to now. He said the importance of being successful is create a difference so that you will be different than others and people must come to you for their advantage. But as a government official, what I can do only is to tell everybody the direction, the policy area, and where the growth areas will be and where the challenges are. And then I have all the measures to help you strengthen yourself or let you survive during the difficult time.
Right.
But it's up to the players themselves. And I'm very glad that they are all wake up to it. And a lot really are finding new ways to improve their businesses. And I see positive development in this area. And the good news to me is we have shortened the awareness time, the cognition time, and then we are already at the stage of reforming.
Right.
Different people reforming in different ways. So we'll be shortening the actual transitional period. So we will be embarking on the road to even bigger prosperity, faster and earlier. And that is something I find satisfaction in seeing.
Right, so see, definitely, so what you're saying that the partnership between the government and the Hong Kong people is definitely more obvious.
The togetherness.
The togetherness, as you said earlier.
And the team.
Yes, the
The
teamwork.
whole Hong Kong team.
Right, and under your policy address, you also have a key focus on reinforcing Hong Kong's position as a financial, shipping and trade center, and you have new initiatives such as the international gold trading market and promoting high value added maritime services. Are you confident that with all that, we will be a competitive city amongst other cities around us?
Well, we have been very competitive already, but I will not be satisfied with the present level. We are, I think, the fifth most competitive economy in the world. We have rose 2 positions. Mm-hmm. I look at all these rankings mainly for the purpose of ensuring that I'm making my policies in the right direction, whether we are on the right track. So all these increasing rankings, such as the Competitiveness ranking increase from 7th to the 5th, we have just again been announced as the most freest economy in the world. And financial center, we have moved up 1 position from the 4th to the 3rd. All these things suggest to me, I believe, that the policy directive is correct, the measure is correct, and societies as a whole are doing the right thing. Because all these international assessment reports, they adopt very objective standards. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that through the process, we have been progressing. But I think we can progress even more.
Right.
My philosophy is they're never the best, only the better.
Right.
Keep improving.
Right. See, I've also noticed that the covers of the policy address for the past 3 years has featured robots made in Hong Kong as representatives of innovation and technology. Are you are you planning to establish a sort of robotics industry chain, leveraging our advantages as an international platform and also align with the national policy development? I've just picked that up when I was reading your policy addresses.
Well, thank you for being so attentive. That obviously is one area, but there are many areas we can develop. Our strength is not just on robotics. Our strength is on research. Our strength is on data science. Our strength will be on advanced technology. Biotech, we're very good. And new material, new energy, sustainable growth. These areas are highlighted in the policy address where I think a lot of scholars, a lot of experts have advised me these are the obvious advantages of Hong Kong. So as I have told you, I do the SWOT analysis. I agree they are our advantages. Well, more than that, they are not just our present strengths. These strengths will grow because if you look at the policy address, we have the loop. The loop is going to be a very advanced science park, which we will have a mirror, a sister science park on the Shenzhen side, just over the Shenzhen River. And this one boundary, two science park principle is to allow us to take advantages of both sides. Hong Kong's strengths, then reinforce Shenzhen's strength. Mainland strengths, then reinforce Hong Kong's strengths.
Right.
1 + 1 will be bigger than 2. And also, I think we will make this loop be, I think, one of the world high-leading examples of how we can strengthen our digital competitiveness, our research capabilities, and also the high-end advanced production in the 5 areas, for example, I've told you. And also, I think biotech, we have a lot of advantages. Our medical service has been accepted as world-class, and our professionals are very devoted, and they have the mission and passion to be able to contribute and strengthen in this area. So I think we can be very positive in this area.
See, I'm going to ask you a very important question. I'm sure the viewers will want me to ask you as the last question, that Hong Kong has been facing huge challenges and everyone has been tightening up their belts, particularly in the retail and the F&B sector that we brought up earlier. But a lot of Hong Kong people are adaptive and innovative. But I think many of our viewers would want to know, would you say our economy has bottomed out? Because you will have all the figures and you said we're having 2.5 to 3.5% growth. And what type of recovery do you anticipate that we're going to have?
Well, in fact, 2.5 to 3.5% growth, I think, is quite a balanced assessment. I'm more positive thinking because, in a way, I'm an insider. I know what new measures the central government will be rolling out.
Right.
I know what are the things that I have requested for. And if some of them become really roll-outable, then the additional impetus will be quite big. For example, I have said that we hope to invite more visitors from Shenzhen, from other parts of GBA, and I'm very grateful for central governments to look at my suggestion so sincerely.
Right.
And so I hope there will be good measures rolled out, and that impetus, together with the other short and medium and long-term measures, will bring us to new heights.
Right, Chief Executive, thank you for sharing your insights on this year's policy address. Your vision for Hong Kong is the core of bold reforms and strategic initiatives. As our CEO himself said, through our united efforts to reform and innovate, our economy will go even stronger and our people will lead a better life, making Hong Kong a shining city.
Let us all work together.
Thank you for joining us and have a good evening.